Welcome to the deep dive. So, you've let us know you're dealing with more frequent menstrual cycles, what's sometimes called polymenorrhea.
Mm.
And that got us thinking about something maybe less obvious,
Mhm.
how those frequent periods might actually be affecting your vaginal health.
That's a really key connection. Often the focus is just on, the hormones or the inconvenience.
Right.
But the vaginal environment itself is super sensitive to those very hormonal changes. It's a big piece of it.
Exactly. So, our mission today in this deep dive is to really explore that link for you. We want to understand how having periods more often affects vaginal health and, maybe more importantly, talk about proactive steps.
Including potentially looking at targeted supplements for support.
Yes. And just to clarify, based on the info you gave us, polymenorrhea means cycles shorter than 21 days, happening more often than the usual monthly rhythm.
And one of the articles you sent, Polymenorrhea and Vaginal Health, really highlights that this isn't just a scheduling thing. It can cause real physical and emotional stress.
Definitely something to acknowledge right up front. It's not just about marking the calendar.
No, these frequent cycles trigger a kind of chain reaction in the body, and vaginal health is absolutely part of that picture. So yeah, let's get into this connection that, like you said, often flies under the radar.
Okay, let's unpack it then. This overlooked link. It sort of makes sense when you stop and think, but it's not the first thing people usually connect.
Right.
So as we've learned, more periods mean more hormonal ups and downs, more fluctuations. And these quicker shifts can, well, unfortunately make you more susceptible to things like infections or just general irritation.
Exactly right. Think of the vaginal environment like a finely tuned ecosystem. It does best when things are stable.
And hormones are key to that stability.
Absolutely. Especially when it comes to acidity, the pH level. Hormones,
Yeah.
particularly estrogen, are vital for keeping conditions just right.
Okay, so let's get specific. How do these frequent cycles actually, mess with vaginal health?
Yeah.
The info we have points to a few key areas. First up, altered pH in the microbiome. Can you break that down?
Yeah, definitely. So the pH, the acidity level in the vagina is really, really important for keeping things healthy down there. Estrogen helps keep it acidic,
Okay.
and that acidic environment is perfect for the good bacteria, primarily Lactobacillus species. They're like the guardians, keeping potentially harmful microbes in check.
Got it. Good guys.
Right. Now, with polymenorrhea, you've got these more frequent hormonal swings, more ups and downs in estrogen.
Faster cycles, faster swings.
Exactly. And these quicker, sometimes more dramatic shifts in pH can throw off that delicate bacterial balance. It basically disrupts the environment, making it easier for other, less desirable bacteria or yeast to sort of take hold and multiply.
Ah, okay. So the environment's less stable more often.
Right.
Gives the troublemakers more chances.
You got it. Which leads right into the next point.
Increased risk of infections.
Precisely. Because when you have bleeding more often, you've got menstrual fluid present more consistently. That naturally creates a moister environment. So if that's happening at the same time as this potential microbiome imbalance we just talked about, well, you've accidentally created a more welcoming place for opportunistic pathogens to overgrow.
So that's why someone might see more bacterial vaginosis or yeast infections.
Or even UTIs, yeah. Urinary tract infections. The frequency of everything just increases the odds, unfortunately.
Wow. Okay. That really paints a clear picture. It's like the conditions keep getting reset, but not always in favor of the beneficial bacteria.
Well put.
And it doesn't stop there, does it? The info also mentioned chronic inflammation and irritation.
No, it doesn't. Think about the tissues themselves. They're quite delicate. With more frequent periods, these tissues are exposed to blood more often, and also to tampons, pads, and sometimes the fragrances or chemicals in those products
Right, potential irritants.
much more regularly.
Yeah.
So this repeated exposure, plus maybe increased friction sometimes, it can just lead to irritation. And if that happens frequently, it can become chronic inflammation.
Like a low-level stress
Ooh.
that's always there.
Kind of, yeah. And even tiny abrasions or irritations might take longer to heal properly, which can make the vaginal tissue less resilient overall.
Okay. And then the last piece was about potentially weakened immune responses. That sounds concerning.
It's another important factor to consider. Your vagina's constantly adapting to these cycle changes, right? And if it's also dealing with recurrent inflammation,
It's working overtime.
pretty much. And that ongoing effort over time could potentially make the local immune defenses a bit less sharp, almost like the system gets a bit fatigued.
So what does that mean practically?
Well, it could mean your body might take longer to bounce back from an infection, or you might become generally more susceptible to future imbalances.
Okay, so it's clear. More frequent cycles can definitely throw things off balance down there in, well, several ways.
Oh.
Bringing us back to our listener, why is understanding this so important? What's the benefit?
Well, honestly, just knowing this connection can be empowering, even while you're working with your doctor on the why behind the frequent cycles.
Which is crucial.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But focusing proactively on your vaginal health can give you a sense of control. It can make a tangible difference in your day-to-day comfort.
Yeah, and the information really drove home the benefits of having that stable vaginal environment. We're talking fewer infections, less discomfort, which, let's face it, nobody wants.
Right.
Plus, better tissue health can help with things like dryness or irritation, even pain. And feeling comfortable and healthy down there boosts confidence, overall well-being.
And the articles even mention better long-term intimate wellness. It's about building that foundation of health and resilience.
So what can someone actually do? What are the proactive steps? The info outlined some useful holistic strategies,
It did. It touched on some key lifestyle things first.
like nutrition and hydration.
Yeah, paying attention to what you eat and drink can impact hormone balance and tissue health generally.
Ah.
Also, things like managing stress and getting regular exercise. Those influence hormones and circulation, too.
Good baseline stuff.
Yeah.
And hygiene.
Simple, gentle hygiene is key. Things like avoiding harsh soaps or scented products down there, choosing breathable cotton underwear, just being mindful of what comes into contact with that sensitive area.
Makes sense. Minimize the irritation.
Exactly. And the articles also mention getting any infections treated promptly and using pain relief methods if needed.
All really solid practical advice. And then the info pivoted to another key strategy, one that seems especially relevant with those frequent hormonal shifts we talked about, using probiotics for vaginal wellness.
This is about directly supporting that community of good bacteria, the vaginal microbiome.
How does that work exactly?
Well, the idea is that introducing the right strains of beneficial bacteria, like specific probiotics, can help restore that crucial microbial balance. It can also help strengthen the resilience of the vaginal tissues themselves.
Which sounds extra helpful when hormones are fluctuating more often.
Precisely. It's about reinforcing the natural defenses.
And this leads us nicely to a specific product mentioned in the materials you shared. Balance Complex. Can you tell us what that is?
Sure. So Balance Complex is presented as a vaginal probiotic supplement. It's specifically formulated to help restore that healthy bacterial balance, calm inflammation, and support the vagina's local immune defenses. The concept is that the ingredients are chosen to work together synergistically to create a more stable, harmonious vaginal environment, which, as we've been saying, is crucial when dealing with frequent cycles.
The info provided quite a bit of background on it. Mentioned it's been around over 10 years, sold millions of capsules, lots of positive reviews,
Track record.
and it highlights a high CFU count. That's the probiotic concentration, right?
Yes, colony-forming units, a measure of viable bacteria.
Right. High CFU plus cranberry and D-mannose for urinary health. It calls itself a maximum strength 1701 strain blend, targeting common issues like odor, itching, discharge.
So quite comprehensive.
Yeah, and non-GMO, made in registered, certified facilities, plus a satisfaction guarantee via Amazon. Seems like they cover the quality basis.
That all sounds reassuring, but maybe we should dig into what's actually in it and why those ingredients are included.
Absolutely. Let's look at the key components. The information lists a vaginal probiotic blend with several lactobacillus strains, Acidophilus, Rhamnosus, Reederi, Plantarum, and also Bacillus coagulans. What do these types of bacteria generally do?
Well, these lactobacillus strains are the stars of the vaginal microbiome, really. They're excellent at producing lactic acid, which maintains that crucial acidic pH.
The protective acidity.
Exactly. That acidity naturally discourages the growth of less desirable microbes. They also help support a healthy local immune response and generally stabilize the whole microbial community.
Making it less prone to disruption.
Right. And some, like L. plantarum, even have antioxidant properties, which is good for tissue health. Bacillus coagulans is often added because it's quite stable and resilient.
Okay, that makes sense. And then there's the cranberry and D-mannose blend. We hear about those a lot for UTIs.
We do, and for good reason. This combination is well known for helping to prevent certain bacteria, especially E. coli, from sticking to the walls of the urinary tract and, importantly, the vaginal lining, too.
Oh, okay. So it helps protect both areas.
Yes, which is relevant because, as we noted, Frequent cycles and imbalances can sometimes up the risk of UTIs, so that seems like a smart inclusion.
Got it. Then there's oregano leaf extract and caprylic acid. What's their role?
Oregano leaf has natural antimicrobial properties. It can help keep potentially problematic bacteria and fungi in check, hopefully without harming the good bacteria too much.
And caprylic acid.
That one is particularly known for targeting yeast overgrowth, so potentially helpful in managing or preventing recurrent yeast infections.
The formula also lists protease and cellulase. Those sound like enzymes.
They are. Protease and cellulase are enzymes that can help break down something called biofilms.
Biofilms, what are those?
Think of them like protective shields or slimy layers that some bacteria can build around themselves. These biofilms make the bacteria much harder to get rid of.
Ah, sneaky.
Very. So, by including enzymes that help break down these biofilms, it might make the problematic bacteria more vulnerable and allow the probiotics to work more effectively. It helps clear the way, so to speak.
Interesting. Okay, what about aloe vera leaf and arabinogalactin?
Aloe vera is pretty famous for being soothing, right?
Yeah, like for sunburns.
Exactly. In this context, it can help calm inflamed or irritated vaginal tissues and promote healing, which could be really beneficial with the kind of chronic irritation we discussed.
Makes sense. And arabinogalactin.
That's a type of prebiotic fiber. It essentially acts as food for beneficial bacteria, helping them thrive. It also has properties that can support the immune system and aid tissue repair.
Okay, quite a list. And finally, there's anise seed, black walnut hulls, wormwood, and reishi mushroom.
Wow. It's definitely a comprehensive blend. Anise seed brings more antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory benefits. Black walnut hulls are known for natural antifungal and antibacterial effects.
So more support for microbial balance.
Wormwood is included to support immune function and help maintain a stable vaginal flora again, really relevant with frequent hormonal shifts.
And reishi mushroom. I hear about that for stress.
It's a powerful adaptogen, yes. It's known for reducing chronic inflammation, modulating the immune response, and supporting overall tissue integrity. So it kind of hits several of the potential issues associated with polymenorrhea's impact.
Okay, so if we pull all of that together,
Yeah.
how does Balance Complex, with all these ingredients, aim to specifically help someone with frequent cycles?
It looks like it tries to tackle the problem from multiple angles. First, restoring and maintaining the good bacteria, the microbiome balance with those lactobacillus strains.
Right.
Second, reducing inflammation and soothing irritation with ingredients like aloe, reishi, and anise.
Okay.
Third, actively helping prevent recurrent infections, BV, yeast, maybe even UTIs, using things like cranberry, D-mannose, oregano, caprylic acid, black walnut.
Makes sense.
And finally, supporting the underlying immune function and tissue healing processes with ingredients like arabinogalactin, wormwood, and reishi again. It's a multi-pronged approach.
It really sounds like it's designed to address many of those specific challenges that came up in the polymenorrhea and vaginal health info.
It seems targeted that way, yes.
And it's important to stress, like the info suggests, this isn't magic, it's a tool, right? Best used alongside those other healthy habits we talked about.
Absolutely. It complements those lifestyle strategies. It's part of a bigger picture for managing vaginal health, especially when facing the extra challenges of frequent periods.
Okay. Now, shifting gears slightly. If someone listening wants to get more personalized insight into their specific situation, the information also mentioned another resource, vaginalquiz.com. Tell us about that.
Right. Vaginalquiz.com. That's vaginalquiz.com. It's presented as a quick, science-backed quiz. Takes supposedly under 2 minutes.
For what purpose?
To give you a personalized analysis of your vaginal health. It's aimed at women experiencing symptoms like discomfort, dryness, odor, maybe low libido, or even just anyone wanting to be more proactive about their intimate wellness.
And it's quick, free, private. Sounds accessible.
That's the idea, yeah. A way to get some potential answers without a huge time commitment or cost.
So what happens after you take the quiz? What do you get?
According to the description, you get a custom breakdown. It outlines your sort of individual vaginal health profile, points out potential imbalances based on your answers,
Okay.
and then provides expert-backed suggestions tailored to your symptoms and lifestyle. This might include recommending specific supplements or maybe suggesting certain daily habits to help restore balance.
Interesting. So it's like getting a personalized cheat sheet for understanding what might be going on down there.
That seems to be the goal. A starting point for understanding your body's signals and getting actionable insights specific to you, maybe before you even talk to a doctor, or to help guide that conversation.
Right. Okay, so wrapping things up, the big takeaway here seems to be that understanding this link between frequent periods and vaginal health is really, really key.
Definitely. And knowing that taking proactive steps can genuinely make a difference in comfort and overall well-being.
Yeah, well, dealing with polymenorrhea itself can feel like a lot. Focusing on supporting that microbial balance, reducing inflammation, preventing infections, that can build a really strong foundation.
Creates resilience, yeah.
So we definitely encourage you, our listener, to explore those holistic strategies, the nutrition, the stress management, the gentle hygiene, and maybe consider how targeted support, like something like Balance Complex, could potentially fit into your routine to address specific vaginal health challenges.
And perhaps, as a next step to really understand your unique situation, check out vaginalquiz.com. That's vaginalquiz.com. Get those personalized insights. It could be a really valuable tool for anyone wanting to learn more about their intimate health, whether they have polymenorrhea or not. Start understanding your body better.